Guys, it's another day of Real Housewives of New Jersey drama. No, not on the show, but off the show while the show is airing. Yeah, say that three times. We will, of course, cover Teresa Giudice's new post-it note that she put out on her Instagram, the responses from her cast members, also the backlash she is receiving from the fans, the viewers of the show. Also, what did she discuss with Jill Zarin on her latest podcast episode? And there's a couple people on Real Housewives of New Jersey that has a new fan. We will get into all of that. But before we do, definitely subscribe if you haven't already. I cover all things Housewives, Bravo Labs, some good pop culture tea. If you enjoy the Real Housewives of New Jersey recaps, I'm going to keep posting those. I enjoy those quite a bit. Anyways, subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on notifications if you already have. Let's jump right in. All right. So when Teresa, our girl Teresa, posted this, what looks like a post-it note on her Instagram, at first when I was just like kind of scrolling through, at first I thought I should put something on her stories because that's what it looks like. However, she ended up posting it as an actual post. Now, the interesting thing about this message, she posted it in a way where no one can interact with it, like post no comments. There's no comments. That feature is off. You can just read it. You can heart it if you want. You can share it with, your pal if you want. You can save it if you want. Pretty much everything, but leave a comment, which I think that obviously was strategic. Now, before I get into the actual, dissection, what did I say? Rachel Fuda. What did she say? She had some sort of commentary on her stories. Who else? Melissa Gorga had some commentary on her stories. I'm sure they were frothing at Teresa's post-it that she put up. Who else? Now, on the other side of things, in terms of reactions from castmates or, previous castmates, Kim D, who was, of course, on the show previously, she actually reacted in a positive light, opposed to Rachel and Melissa Gorga. Kim D said, "So proud of you, my friend." And Teresa reposted that on her story. Anyway, so those are some reactions. Now let's actually get into it. I have been on The Real Housewives of New Jersey for the last 14 seasons, and during that time, I have seen and been a part of my fair share of drama with my castmates. Great. Some pleasantries, her time on the show, good stuff. Before I get into the rest of it, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's pretty obvious. Teresa Giudice didn't just wake up one morning and like she wrote this. I don't think she even thought about putting a statement out like this. Anyways, let's continue. Now, in the green, what is happening off camera on social media is absolutely disgusting and fueled by toxic people who are not affiliated with the show or the cast and are only interested in promoting themselves by spreading their hate through false narratives and lies. Now, this part here I thought was interesting. She is talking about people who are not affiliated with the show or the cast, and for whatever reason they're only, promoting themselves, the lies, the hate, false narratives. Now, I'm thinking, are you talking about the bloggers you yourself aligned yourself with that we now know of, thanks to people like Melissa's Old Nose and some other folks? There's a couple Real Housewives of New Jersey bloggers, like, yeah, they talk about other housewives too, but they predominantly focus on the Real Housewives of New Jersey cast. And every day, those girls stay stepping on the Jersey necks with the content they put out. I'm honestly shocked, like how they come up with the content, how they, get their hands on it, the digging that they do. It's all quite fascinating. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like, yes, they're giving us the content. We're learning all this about, Teresa, Louis, Margaret, whoever else. But at the same time, it's like, now I know this. I'm watching the show differently. Look, let's be for real. those of us who pay attention to what's being posted on social media about these, housewives and their spouses, we do start watching the show a little bit differently because we have all this additional information presented to us by people who are, in Teresa's words, toxic people who are not affiliated with the show or the cast. They might not be affiliated with the show, but cough, cough, they may be affiliated with the cast. Now, let's move on to the purple. It has affected all of us on the cast and our families. They are attacking our children, going after our businesses, and they are turning something that is supposed to be entertainment into something very toxic, very dark and toxic. All right. The part where she talks about people attacking her children, shame on anyone that is, attacking any of the housewives' children's. Now, some of the housewives' children's are adult children, so we get into, some gray, murky waters there. Debatable whether they are up for discussion or not, whether they are, I guess, legitimately up for discussion or not. So there's that. But yeah, no one should be going after people's kids. Like, that's just wrong. All right, going after people's businesses. This part to me, I was about to cough, but never mind. This part to me stood out. I was like, going after your businesses? Weren't you guys going after Margaret's Walmart deal? You yourself potentially, allegedly, was, going after one of your castmates' businesses. So I don't know. Now she's what? Calling out these like dark, nasty, what does she call these people? Disgusting. What does she call them? Basically, she's calling out these like bloggers, anyone else who's not affiliated with the show, but her herself has been seen to, go after other people's businesses on the show. Anyway, I'm going to share one thing with you and then we're going to get to the blue. All right, so the part about businesses, it kind of dawned on me because recently I did notice Chrissy Balls post something about a new business that Teresa's posting about. And apparently, a link that Teresa posted, it takes you to some membership link where you could pay $10 per month. You could get access to, I guess, like, I don't know, private, her head is in the way, like videos or messages or whatever, watch live content, exclusive content, and more. And then, you got to give your credit card details info. I'm not going to get into the video or get into all of it, but you guys should definitely, if you're into the Jersey tea, Chrissy Balls, she stays stepping on these Jersey necks day in, day out. Anyways, like I said, I'm not going to play all of it. It was basically about Teresa's like new membership. What I got out of this specific video via Chrissy Balls is the privacy info and like what you get for paying for this membership details. You don't really know what you're giving your info for, and the privacy section, it kind of is like a template, and then it leads me back to thinking about the stuff I discussed about Louis, and I think in like my last video or whatever, what Dana Wilkie had covered. Long story short, it is a data mining scheme. That's always been the business model. Get people's info, sell it, close up that shop, get a new, I don't know, start a new business, get, people's info, close that shop, keep it moving. And you're always, steps ahead of people. So anytime I see people posting stuff, it's only a piece of the puzzle. The bigger picture is the data mining scheme that Dana Wilkie had talked about in a video, and it was a pretty lengthy video. So anyways, the part where Teresa's talking about going after people's children, they are attacking our children, not everyone should cut that out. But the going after businesses part, I mean, if you are going to be on an international show. It's not just, national, it's international show. Unfortunately, in the day of social media, yeah, people are going to dig up your skeletons. If you have no skeletons or if you're okay with the skeletons that you have, whether it is business or for professional, sure, go on the show. Like if we take a look at the Real Housewives of New York City, why was it that the women we got on the show were the women that we got on the show? We got some socialites who are fun. I'll just leave it at that. But the real wealthy New Yorkers in the financial sector, in the business sector, in the fashion sector, and when I say fashion, I don't mean influencers. I mean like the I don't know, the people in fashion, darling. Why is it that we could never get any of those women or the women married to I don't know, men in finance, like the top 1%? The things they do, I don't think they wanted to be outed on a reality show where they're not going to make a lot of money. For them, it's like chump change. You know what I mean? So I don't know why she's like, acting like it's so dark and toxic and, attacking businesses. If you are, I don't know, I'll take, what's her name? Crystal, for example. Let's just say Crystal came on the show. She didn't marry Rob. She just had her coconut business, and her coconut business is running smooth. There's nothing to talk about. No one would bring anything up. But let's just say, for example, Crystal was running this coconut business and she's doing some schemes. Yeah, someone would, dig up that dirt and bring it up, which is what we see, unfortunately, for Louis. And people who have been watching Teresa for, years and years, a decade plus, right here, I want to see her win, like she went to camp, she got out. Andy told her, get a prenup. She didn't listen. And now she's putting out orange statements, from orange jumpsuits to orange statements. Here we are. Anyways, let's continue. So, the blue. This hate and toxicity has to stop. I'm asking everyone to stop engaging in any negativity towards my castmates and all of our families. All right. Recently there was that, what was it? That was that John Fuda, when he was part of some home invasion in his early 20s. I covered it on my channel. I'm sure a lot of other people did. The timing of it was sus, and it felt a little like, does Teresa and her team have, any hand in it? It is interesting that, we're near the end of the season and now this comes up. So who knows what was discussed at Rails during the season, not the season finale, but the reunion, not reunion. So her saying, stop engaging in any negativity towards my castmates and all of our families. That's interesting because, thanks to bloggers in bed with Teresa, her lawyer, and Jennifer Aydin, we know Teresa and her team, they were part of, coming up with certain schemes. And guys, just because I talk about, Teresa, or in some of my videos where I call out Margaret, I'm not team anyone. Teresa posted this. We're having a discussion. That's it. I am team show. I watch these women with a lot of love and a lot of just, fun. It's a good time. But when they get themselves, into mess, we're going to talk about it. Anyways, the last part, enough is enough. Love, 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 Teresa. I don't know who wrote this for her. Maybe it was her lawyer. Who knows? But let's move on to some fun. The podcast she had recently with Jill Zarin. Actually, before I get to the podcast, so the ladies of New Jersey, they were at Jill's Hamptons party that she does like every summer. And I'm not sure if this is that one or like a different event. No, I think it is for that one. They looked great. Jennifer Aydin was there. Dolores was there. Teresa was there. And some other housewives as well. They look like they're all walking out of a Zimmerman ad or I don't know. I don't know. They look great. It's very on theme. Anyways, everyone looks good. Now, also, here's another image. Did they all like come together and say this is going to be the theme, like soft pastels? Because they look really good. Anyways, let's move on to the podcast. So, Jill Zarin was on, and this is not the first time I heard this, but Jill Zarin was speaking very well of Louis and Teresa. Jill Zarin was like, just saying really great things. You guys should definitely watch the episode or listen to the episode. I think it was a great podcast. Jill Zarin was just saying how Louis is amazing, how when they all went out for dinner, he's always the one to reach for his pocket, pay the bills. He's just, seeing him and Teresa together, they look great. And then Teresa was talking about how she would have stayed with Joe till the very end, just based on her her culture, I don't know, she talked about her religion a little bit. Just based on how she was raised, Teresa would have stayed with Joe till the very end. However, they were literally ripped apart because, obviously because of all the paperwork she had signed. They individually went to camp, they came out, and then his tush got deported. And then Teresa was like, no, I'm not going with you. And obviously, because Teresa chose to stay in Jersey with the four daughters, later on, she met Louis, and then she found her twin flame or soulmate, which Teresa also went into. So, like I said, guys, this is not the first time I have heard someone, or when I say someone, I mean other housewives speak very well of Louis. Like, who else? Kelly Dodd, Rick Leventhal. I've heard them say good things about Louis. Who else? The Cuban Barbie, Teresa's twin, Alexia Napoli. She said good things about him. Pretty much a lot of people that meet him, not everyone, but a lot of people that meet him say good things about Louis. Now, here's my take on it. He could be one of those people where this is how he presents himself, in front of everyone, and that he might be a certain way in business. We just never know, right? At the end of the day, when the fans are like, oh, why aren't you guys talking about this? Why aren't you guys talking about that? Why aren't certain storylines on the show? At the end of the day, Bravo's going to showcase the storylines that they feel like they want to put out there. Some of the stuff might be a little too messy for TV, some of the storylines. There could be some legal drama, legal issues down the road if they do showcase it on the show. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, cough, cough. Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip. Thanks a lot, Caroline Manzo. We're never going to see that again. Anyways, at the end of the day, these women film for like 4 months straight. Do you know how much footage there is that we don't see? And I'm not even talking about like storylines, like just like little funny things that, producers and editors might take out. That would have been like funny for the fans to see, but then for whatever reason, they like, I don't know, they take it out. So that's one thing that definitely stood out to me from this interview. On top of that, Jill talked about what a fan of Jen Aydin is. And she also talked about, they both actually talked about Jen Aydin and Bill Aydin. And Teresa was just saying how Bill Aydin loves to see Jen Aydin like riled up, like, where she's like complaining or she's like good. They both had very good things to say about, Jen and Bill Aydin. Now, the streets talk about Bill and Jen a little bit differently. Like, I see some of the commentary, you guys post, not just like on my small little channel, but like just on like Twitter and other post online. It's always, oh, Bill is checked out. It's always, oh, Bill got a side piece, this and that. However, these housewives who spend actual time with Jen and Bill Aydin, they always have really good things to say about their dynamic. So that was definitely quite interesting. And Jill was just like, how Jen Aydin, she's so fun. Teresa's like, yeah, that's why I keep her around. That's why she's a good time. I keep her around. So it was interesting. I'm only covering like, two little snippets of that 1 hour long podcast episode. You guys should definitely go watch it. Anyways, what do you guys think of Teresa's little post-it that she, put up without comments attached to it, or not comments attached to it, but no one can post a comment about it. What do you think about her castmates responding and her non-castmates, previous castmates? What do you think about Jill and, Louis being such a gentleman? Y'all, I always like to know what you guys are thinking. Definitely chime into the comments. I will catch you all later.